Hailing from a Baniya family of North India, I remember my grandfather telling me that no one in our family has ever worked under someone else, which meant that even after I qualify my CA examination or CMA examination, I was not permitted to work in any company. To a time when my grandfather felt proud when I was selected in one of the big fours. Times have changed and commerce has graduated to a different level. So, from an era when there were only two options, audit and taxation for commerce students, to a time now when there are plethora of opportunities for commerce students, right from actuarial valuation to investment banking to forensics. There are many unexplored avenues which a commerce student can devise. And today we are going to discuss one such unexplored avenue, which is investment banking. Hi, I am CA, CS, and CMA Nikhil Gupta, and I welcome all of you to yet another episode of Commerce No Big Deal, where I am going to introduce you to certain achievers who have made it big in the commerce field. Today I have with me CA Anuj Khandelwal. Sorry, CA and CS Anuj Khandelwal. So Anuj has qualified his CA and CS in 2013, post which he joined KPMG in the corporate finance department. He has worked with IDFC Securities as an investment banker and is now working with a renowned private equity fund as an investment professional. Guys, one unique thing which I observed in Anuj's profile is that all his job profiles which he has shifted till date are very different, very peculiar. They are different in terms of skill set requirement, they are different in terms of challenges which are there in that particular profile, and they are different in terms of what they demand of you. So, on a lighter note, it won't be exaggeration to say that Anuj is a khatron ka khiladi of commerce field. Hi Anuj, we welcome you to our channel. It is really my pleasure and pleasure of all the viewers who are seeing us that we have got an opportunity to interact with a person who's done investment banking, who's done corporate finance, who's done audit, all these areas. So my first question to you would be, Anuj, while you were studying back then, when you were doing your professional course, what was the thought behind choosing a career as investment banking? What was your aspiration? What was the motivation of choosing something like investment banking?
Uh, Thank you, Nikhil. It's my honor and pleasure to be there on the platform. Let me be honest with you. I never thought investment banking was a career option. Honestly, never ever thought as a career option for me. But you know, eventually, what happened? If you're a commerce student, once you graduate from high school, so there are very limited courses that you can pursue. So some of them CA, CS, CMA. So I pursued CA, went through the part of audit and taxation. During that process, when I just finished my CA, I reached out to a couple of smart folks. I asked them a very simple question that which are the two profiles that every finance or a commerce graduate would dream of. So they gave me two options, Nikhil. One is management consulting. Second is investment banking. Uh, Honestly speaking, investment banking was a word which we heard in through movies. We saw different videos, and we always heard about Wall Street, the kind of money they pay. So it was intuitive for you to get attracted towards it. So I would say that was very intuitive for me because money was quite attractive. So I just stepped into the field. I had no knowledge. I had no technical knowledge in terms of how's going to be. But now, after spending like good more than 5 years in investment banking, my one quick learning is that why this job profile is so exciting and why it's so rewarding is because there are two ways to look about if you think about finance, right? One is managing money, second is growing money. So if somebody uh, hires you to manage his money, he would think it okay fine because it is not that the job is not great. It's just because there is very limited scope to add value in managing books because you have already done a transaction and what you need to do is to manage books. On the other side, if somebody hires you to grow his wealth and you give him smart ideas to grow his wealth, then definitely he's going to pay you more. So that is where you understood that if you add value to somebody, the other person is going to add value to you. and then it becomes a loop where, as a person, as an individual, you get excited, and that's how the profile gets aligned.
That is an amazing thought, guys. Of course, audit, taxation, and other regular fields have got their own value because your basics get strong from those fields only. However, undoubtedly, a person will pay you more if you are multiplying his money. And investment banking is all about money multiplication. So, with that exciting note, now let us grill Anuj with the strategies which he has followed, the plan which he has followed to enter into investment banking field. Anuj, I have a lot of students who are really eagerly waiting for you to tell them what was that one thing or two, three things which were integral part of your strategy of entering into investment banking. Because all we have heard is that entrance to investment banking is not easy. So, what should we do apart from a professional degree? What should we do to enter this field of investment banking?
Kill, that's a very interesting question, honestly, and there's no clear-cut answer to it. So I'll break the question into three parts, right? One is I'll discuss some of the options that are available to get into investment banking. There is no single route. There are multiple routes to it. You can make inroads through multiple degrees or a single degree. A CMA can also go into investment banking, or a CA can go, or a combination of two can also go. Second, since Nikhil mentioned in my intro that I travel to different profiles, so I'll also walk you through in terms of every profile requires a different level of technical skill set, softer skill set. So how I prepared through it, I'm not sure how helpful it's going to be, but whatever you feel is relevant for you, because everybody is customizable, and whatever you feel good, kindly pick it up and implement it. Third is, once you're done with interview and all those things, how do you practice it? I think that's the core. So theory is fine, but until unless you practice the theory, it doesn't get you anything. So in terms of some of the profiles that you can look for, one, there are profiles like corporate finance. So within corporate finance, you just break into two. One is business valuations. Second is mergers and acquisitions. So typically, all the big four will have these profiles. So if you're already a big four employee, you can apply for internal transfer. Second is there are a lot of back-end jobs available for some of the bulge bracket banks like JP Morgan, Barclays, Citibank. So what happens is you don't do a front-end investment banking. What you do back-end offshore investment banking. So what does it mean is you support the investment bankers based out of Europe or maybe American region. But the work what you do is exactly the work what somebody does in front-end investment banking. So third is basically due diligence. So due diligence is a part of deal making. So it gives you a flavor of how deal making happens. So at times in deal making process, you meet the buyer and the seller. And buyer could be a private equity professional or could be a company. So what happens is this skill set is so good that when you interact with these stakeholders, they try to attract the talent towards them. So if you're really smart, irrespective which degree you hold, you will definitely get a chance to present yourself to these companies. After spending 3 years in audit, Nikhil, I always wanted to do something more. So I thought, let's give it a shot in corporate finance. I appeared for an interview and I got through. It sounded very simple, but it wasn't simple. It was extremely tough ride, extremely tough ride. So I got rejected in the first round, and I was rejected because my concepts were weak, and the concepts were largely pertaining towards corporate finance. And I wrote back to the partner saying that, sir, give me an opportunity, give me a chance, I'll try to turn around. So he gave me a reference saying that, Anuj, you have to brush in your concept of corporate finance. So I asked him a reference, that, sir, if you can suggest me a reference. So he said, okay, read up about Professor Ashwath Damodaran. He has his literature posted online on his website. Go and read up, and then let's meet again after a week's time. So for your benefit, Professor Ashwath Damodaran is a professor with NYU Stern University in New York. He teaches corporate finance as a part of MBA curriculum, and he's amazing professor. All the literature what he teaches in the class is freely available on his website. I would highly recommend those who are interested in learning the concepts of corporate finance. He is my guru. He got me into investment banking. I'm really thankful to him. I have not seen him, but I really want to meet him one day. So I brushed up by looking at Professor Damodaran's literature. Honestly speaking, it wasn't very easy. All 7 days, I would have literally put 16 to 18 hours just preparing for an interview. just preparing for an interview. It was extremely tough. So guys, what I'm trying to say is, if you really want to get into a good profile or any profile which you like, you have to put in a lot of efforts, and you really have to change yourself maybe in a week's time. Because for me, I wasn't a corporate finance person, but somebody asked me to change and be a corporate finance person. So, Nikhil, what you can do by reading the literature is that you can mug up the theory, but when you're interacting with a person in an interview, you need to use the tongue, you need to use the lingos, so that you can impress a person that you sound professional. Otherwise, you will look like a kid. So, so these are my 2 cents on interviews. Actually, the way I went through, and so in terms of process, how one should go about in terms of practicing, I would highly recommend this industry, especially investment banking, rewards people who are little extrovert as a personality, because you have to go and meet people, you have to talk, you have to interact. You as a person essentially is a salesman, right? You are a salesman. So what you have to do is you have to meet people, you have to impress people. So my sincere suggestion is, right from today, start making network, because networking is the core component of this job profile. And you'll be surprised to know, I'm just quoting Dale Carnegie. I read one of his quote. What he said was, 15% of your success depends upon your technical knowledge. I mean, this was surprising to me also, because as a CA student, I was focusing that, okay, fine, if I brush up my technical knowledge, I'll sail through everything in life. But unfortunately, or I don't know, fortunately, if you just brush up, 85% of your financial success or any success depends upon interpersonal skills.
Wow.
How you interact with people, how you impress people, how you influence. Because ultimately, you have to convey a point. If you can convey a point well with the help of the technical skill set, I think you just killed it. You just killed it.
Perfect. And on that amazing note, one very important takeaway from this discussion is that networking, guys, is really important. Now you would ask me, sir, we are not working in big fours, we don't have any networks. How to build networks? Guys, it's really easy. The social media which you are currently using for posting your Facebook, for posting your selfies taken in weird places with weird facial expressions, use that social media platform to connect with people. LinkedIn, I can tell you for sure, is a medium to connect with ample people who are who can be your mentors and your gurus. Even Facebook, if you just do a random search on Facebook on the kind of profile you want to choose in your career, you'll get so many connects. And if you contact 10 connects, then I'm pretty sure that at least one of them is going to reciprocate and respond to you in a positive manner. And who knows, that one person can be Damodaran for you. So Anuj, next question to you would be, investment banking we have discussed a lot.
Yeah,
We have heard about it a lot.
sure.
Now comes a phase or a era where private equity is taking over the economy, Indian economy, and it is actually ruling Indian economy as of now. And private equity firms are mushrooming like anything,
Right.
especially Mumbai, which is the financial hub of the country. There, I see a lot of private equity firms building strong roots in the economy. So, how would you differentiate? How would you describe in layman terms,
Right.
to make our audience understand what is the difference between investment banking and private equity, and what does it entail?
Sure, sure. So I think Nikhil has used a lot of jargons like private equity, investment banking, and all those things. So let me just decode some of the fancy words what Nikhil has used. So what is private equity? So you all have understood one thing in finance for sure. So there is something called capital structure. Every company requires money. Either it could be in the form of debt or equity, right? So now what happens is, if you are a new company, if you are a startup, do you think somebody is going to give you debt? If you go to a bank, do you think the bank is going to give you anything? Because what happens typically in a debt structure is that you take a loan, and against a loan you have to put a collateral. So if you're already established organization, let's say an HUL, Asian Paints, so they will have a lot of properties to put mortgage and take a credit limit for anything. But if I'm a startup, who's going to fund me? The bank is not going to fund me.
Yeah.
So there were two options I said, debt and equity. So debt gets killed initially. So what is the other option left is the equity option. So that is an option where you reach out to people who are wealthy, right? So which means who can give you, who can believe in your story and be a partner to your story, basically. So you want that, okay, fine, you come as a financial investor, invest in my business, give me money, and give me a chance to scale my business, basically. That is where private equity come and partners with a smart entrepreneur who has a vision, wants to scale up his business. That is where the private equity people will come in.
Okay, Anuj, the next question to you would be, which all my students out there are eagerly waiting for. So, this channel is for CMA students.
Okay. Yeah,
Can CMA students enter into this much coveted world of investment banking? And can they make a good career in investment banking?
Nikhil, I don't know why you're saying can. I think why not? Why not? I mean, see, that is the problem. The fundamental problem is we start doubting ourselves. If you start doubting yourself, saying that, am I made for this field? The obvious, if you have not tested the water on that side of the fence, you would. The intuitive answer is no, or you will be hesitant enough to test it. So the limited point is, yes, of course I can do it. I am doing a course which gives me a base core which involves accounting, tax, management, all those. Which tell me which course gives you those exposure? I mean, if you go for an MBA also, I think MBA is going to enhance your soft skills along with these technical skills. And technical skill, the core foundation is the courses or the curriculum is what you're studying at the moment. So there is no difference in the technical content. And I think, and I believe, not think, that it is possible. It just starts with you. You have to believe in yourself, and you just have to go for it. And it's a tough journey. It's a tough. It's a lonely. You might cry many times. You need to be really strong. But I'm telling you, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Awesome. Awesome. With that confident note which Anuj has given us, yes, you can be an investment banker. Yes, costing is not end of the world for you. Yes, you are a cost accountant, but still, we can have a lot of options which are available for us if we are willing to really work hard and we are passionate about it. So, Anuj, now when you've given us the confidence, please tell us the path also. So, I would like you to tell to all the students who are preparing for their CMA examination, which is due in June 19 or December 19, what should they do along with their studies whenever they get time, so that it will help them to make a career in investment banking after qualifying their examination.
Sure. Sure. Interesting question. I think if somebody would have asked me this question, or if I would have got the answer when I was a kid, when I was studying, I think I would have done much better. So this is the benefit of hindsight that you can get in life. But coming back to the core question, so the first thing, what I would really recommend is reading. Reading is the base for everything. Now you can read anything what you want, but my suggestion is read non-fiction, because now we are talking on the professional grounds, right? Non-fiction, read about businesses, read about different books. If you're interested in investment banking, there are multiple books that you can read on investment banking. I can share a list with Nikhil later on, but there are multiple books on investment banking that will excite you, that will give you a deeper color, and that will actually tell you whether that field is made for you or not. So I might come and Nikhil might come for like say 10, 15, 20 minutes interview, but if you read through the literature, you would get a deeper sense. And that is how I built it. So for example, till what the age of, I mean, not age, I would say till few years back, I used to read like 2 or 3 books a year. Last year I completed 40 books.
Wow.
And just because in investment banking, private equity, the core thing is that you need to read a lot. And once I read through 40 books, I actually understood why those people said, and why, there are multiple quotations on this, that readers are leaders, and it actually made a lot of sense. Earlier I used to make jokes on these quotes, honestly speaking, but these are like really, really good. So first is reading. Second is positive thinking. You have to believe you will do it. You have to believe. So you don't quantify it, that, oh, what do you mean by positive thinking? Positive thinking is very simple, that I am here, I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to achieve. There'll be ups and downs, and I have to sail through all parts of the cycle, right? Third, which it's difficult, but if you do it, is meditation. So what happens is, when I was a student, I remember you get up like 6 o'clock in the morning until like 10 p.m. You're just running around different coachings, and you're not getting time for yourself. If you just meditate for 2 minutes, and what I mean by meditate is not like you go and join a course. It's very simple. You sit in a corner, close your eyes, 2 minutes, focus on your breath. That's it. I think it's going to solve a lot of problems. You're going to see the benefits, and I'm sure you'll just put it into your routine.
So, let me tell you guys, meditation is something which is not only beneficial for you in your professional life, but also studying. So, this is the phase of their life when they are studying hard. They are studying probably for 14 hours, 16 hours a day.
Sure.
And if you meditate for 5 minutes in the morning, please see the difference for yourself. So next question for Anuj would be not for the students who are looking at investment banking as a career option, but for the students who are willing to start their investing journey. So Anuj, a lot of us are not willing to take investment banking as a career option,
Right.
but we want to understand
Right.
that we have an excess kitty in our bags,
Right.
how to invest that kitty in stock market, how to derive gains from that stock market. Now, since we have a specialist on floor today, I would take this opportunity to ask you, how should we start investing as a layman, as a student, as a housewife, as a farmer, or as a small shop owner? If I have savings, how to start investing?
Right. Very tough question, honestly. I think investing as a word, if you think about it, it's very impulsive. What do you talk about? Growing, making returns. But what about losses? I think the cases what you've encountered in the past and the stories what you've heard of your relatives, I would call them as retail investors, are very scary. If a 25 years old person gets into investing, he will have multiple questions to his friends and relatives that I have seen XYZ uncle, XYZ relative losing money. So if you ask me, if 100 people goes in the stock market on a daily basis, 99 loses money and the single guy gets it. And the single guy who gets it has actually practiced this art for at least 15-20 years. Right? So it's not a simple journey. So if you really want to make returns, if you really want to have a decent money, let's say if you've invested 1,000 rupees and you have to grow that 1,000 rupees to let's say 5,000 rupees over let's say 30 years time, and you don't want to do any reading but you just want to kind of go towards it, then I think it's better off you go and put into a mutual fund, honestly. But that's not the solution. Now I'll get to the track where how you can build towards getting towards a track of investing on your own. If you're thinking now, then please plan to press the button of your first stock at least after a year, because 1 year you have to invest in doing the homework. And the homework which I'm trying to tell you is very simple. What you have to do is you just have to go through multiple companies' annual report, read through the annual report. There are a lot of literature. There are businesses, there are industry section, chairman messages, there are investor presentation, learn about the industries, just groom yourself, just get adjusted towards it. Then start tracking the stock, how it's behaving. There are a lot of stocks which behave in a different fashion, right? And there is different level and the different type of investing. So for example, are you a short-term investor or a long-term investor? That we typically see it in theoretical books. But what exactly does it mean? So short-term and long-term is to be defined based on your appetite. Do I need the money in next 2 years? If the answer is no, then I can go for a short-term investment a long-term investment, and can look for opportunities which can give me a compounding returns. Right? If I know that I need to take a money in 2 months time, I won't keep it in a long-term investment opportunity. Right? So there are different ways to it. But now in terms of what you need to do is read about different investors. Now I would say Twitter is a great medium. Follow different investors. If you just search investors, you will find multiple accounts who post multiple things on investing. So I think that is one of the good ways about learning about investing. Second is the father of investing, or the god, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. Multiple literatures. Read through the shareholder letter from 1967 or 65 till 2000. Last happened like a week back. Till 2018, you'll have all the letters of Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway on their website, free of cost. And in fact, CNBC has also done where they've posted videos of that annual meeting onto their website. It's all free of cost. And the moment you read through that literature, I'm telling you, you will understand what investing is. So the only thing is, it's a bare bones approach. You have to grill, and I give you an example. 100 guys wake up in the morning, go and stock in the market, 99 loses money, one make money, and the one guy who makes money has actually done all these things. So first do these things and then think about pressing a button.
Perfect. That was a wise thought. And let me tell you, even Anuj has a blog, and in the description box, I've given you a link of Anuj's blog. And yes, Anuj can be a very good guide to all of you who are willing to start up their own investing spree. So yes, you can take help of our Anuj. The description box contains a link which has got link where Anuj is posting all his blogs. You can ask him questions, you can email him, email ID is also given, and I'm sure Anuj will take out some time out of his busy schedule to answer all of you. So Anuj, the last question to you and the final one, and a crisp one, and we just want 3 pointers on what should a student of CMA do to excel in his career. 3 takeaways for CMA students.
Read, positive thinking, go out in the market and network. That's it. That's all you need, honestly. Any profession,
Absolutely.
any qualification, that's all what you need.
Perfect. Those were the 3 magical words, or to say the key words or the secret of Anuj's success. And yes, this is going to become keywords of your success as well. In this era of digitization, pen has lost its sheen. No one signs paper these days, it's all digital. But still, pen signifies power, pen signifies authority, and pen signifies dignity. So, Anuj, as a token of love from all our subscribers and the audience, I would like to gift you the sign of power which chartered accountants, cost accountants have, a pen. And we wish you all the very best for your career, and we wish you flourish as an investment banker, and also keep guiding students, keep motivating people, and keep giving them direction towards this coveted field.
Thank you so much.
So now if people tell you, and if someone tells you that commerce is no big deal, tell them that gone are those days where commerce was only limited to audit and tax. We are going to venture in something as difficult and as niche as investment banking, actuarial valuation, private equity, forensics, and whatnot. And let me tell you, most of the people wouldn't even have heard these words. Forget about building a career in it. These are the words which only futuristic people like Anuj know. That's all for all of you in this episode of Commerce No Big Deal. We will meet you in the next episode with an interesting story. Till then, bye bye and happy studying.